Hello and welcome to We Are Tottenham TV. It is the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg reaction, and it has finished Tottenham 1, Liverpool 0. Bergvall with the only goal. Ash, before we get into the nuts and cracks of it, how you feeling?
Bro, I'm on like cloud 9, bro. I'm loving it, bro. I'm feeling so happy. I didn't see it coming, I'll be honest with you, and it was a different kind of game, wasn't it?
It was pleasantly surprising. I think, look, there'll be a lot of people that will sit there and, you know, would have watched that game, especially the Ange Outers. I'm going to call them the Ange Outers. Right?
Bro, the comments are making me laugh already. Yeah. But go on.
You know, the Ange Outers would have been going,
yeah.
Oh my God, what the hell's he doing? He's adapting. Yeah. Why is he adapting? Hold on. I can't be out with this.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most entertaining game because there was parts in the first half you could tell people we weren't even talking about the game because there was nothing to really talk about.
Yeah.
But overall, the performance was still was a high level. And I'm sitting there going, I like this.
Yeah.
It's a game of chess.
I mean, you know what? To be fair, look, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real. All fans were asking for were tweaks.
Yep.
Come on, let's be real here. Let's not do this whole in and out thing. Like,
I'm going to do it quickly. The Ange ins will be pissed that he changed. The Ange outers will be going, all right, yeah, he changed. All good. Come on.
Yeah, we'll come back over.
Yeah, we'll come back over.
Yeah, that's all it was. People couldn't see him tweaking it, and because he wasn't tweaking it, because we weren't saying like adapt or completely change your philosophy. No, keep your philosophy, but just tweak certain things.
Yeah.
And like he said it, and I called it out. I said, look, I always win in my second year, mate. I said, Ange, the floor is yours. And guess what?
Well, I've given him the floor. And you were saying earlier on the stream that I've said I've got to give him the cups. And I will stand by that statement until the cups are gone. I haven't been impressed with some of the games this year, but at the same time, I could see us playing in like Manchester City, to get Manchester City, Manchester United and Liverpool in a cup run. We've won 3 games like that.
Yeah.
That's not Spurs.
Yeah. It's not Spurs.
It's not Spurs. So, and I don't care what levels these teams are at, but it's not Spurs. So I'm looking at it going, let me give him the cups. It's down to him how he then wants to go with it.
Yeah. Right?
And do I trust him in the cups? His football can work in the cups because I always say cup football is played slightly different. Champions League, not so much, but FA Cup and League Cup, you can turn it around because you can't really go defensive in those competitions. It's not, you don't find many defensive teams winning it.
Yeah.
Right? They might go defensive in the semi-final and the final if it's someone like Stoke or you know, or someone like Arsenal did when they had to play Chelsea and City. Yeah. Right? And they had a job to do. But to get to that final stage, you have to play a certain way, I believe. Yeah. And yes, we were 2 minutes. Look, we were 2 minutes away from going out to Coventry.
They was.
So,
well, how times have changed, how things have changed, but it was a gutsy. It was a great performance. It was like I think everyone, as soon as Bentancur fell off, I felt that's when they were like, boys, let's do it for Benny. Yes. You know what I mean? Let's pull it all together. And that's when I saw us play a little bit different, dig a little bit deeper, and players like Basuma, do you know what I'm saying? That we've criticised heavily. Well, I know I have anyway.
Yeah, but you've also been a fan, so don't sit there and go, you've criticised it. You've been a fan too.
Yeah,
you have. Look, you'll critique him and stuff, but you have been. There's been games where you have literally backed him. So don't be like. I know I'm sticking up for you. I shouldn't be.
No, it is what it is. It is what it is. But like, I'm just saying, the boys, they did me proud. That's what I wanted to say. Like, you've got Jed Spence. Like, he had a great performance. Archie Gray, I didn't see much wrong with him.
I will criticize. Not criticize. I will say what sometimes the reason why he can't play there. But today, flawless, flawless. But if you're going to give that praise to Archie Gray, I want Dragoshin to receive exactly the same.
It's true
because he was. The back four today, I can't speak highly of.
More,
and not actually. Not back four, back 5. We'll get into the game in a minute. Let me read the super chats out. I'll get your predictions on the game. So from David MJ Park, he says, Bergvall mastering the art of making Northern teams so bothered. Cameron Hicks has said, Kingsky, Spence and Bergvall superb. Yeah. I think he needs to add some more names into that. But
yeah, I agree.
As a back 5. And Matt Card I thought you might have read this already in your head, but he said exactly the same as you. Gutsy performance, COYS.
Yeah, bro, that's it.
Thank you for
That's
being
it.
a member for 40 months, Matt. Thank you very much from We Are Tottenham TV. So let's get into the bolts of this game. First half. Yeah, first half. So we said from the beginning, Shimikas lays a really dodgy pass.
Yeah.
And it lays it into Solanke, but we don't capitalise from it. And it kind of set the precedence for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
What was going through your head at the moment? Because obviously you've openly admitted you weren't confident going into.
Yeah, so I thought if we're gonna like get something from this game, it would be from the fullbacks. I felt the fullback swapping over, changing fullbacks. I looked at Tsimikas more than I did Bradley, because I think Bradley is the better of the two fullbacks, and I thought actually going down that side.
It's interesting because as soon as Bradley came off.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So, when they started misplacing passes, I started to get a bit more confident, because I was like, actually, it's these moments here where it changes the momentum of the game.
Yeah.
The game state looks a little bit different. We can possibly get something out of this. If you get a shot on target, the fans get up, the players get more confidence. So then I started having a little bit of glimmer of hope, and we typically didn't start ultra fast like we normally do.
Which you were worried about?
Yeah, because I thought if we get a goal early and hang on to it, but no, actually, we just plodded along. We stayed in the game.
You've got to listen to me more often, Ash, man.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I know you're the king of stats and coaching and stuff, but I have my little moments.
Yeah.
But look, Dragoshin then has a chance, which comes from a corner, and Alisson makes a reasonably good save. But from that was actually an incident, which was Bentancur went down. From what you've seen on the video that's going around on X, was it X?
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like he goes down. He doesn't actually head the ball or nothing. He goes down just with no one around him, kind of scenario.
Yeah, he fainted. It
looks like he fainted.
Yeah.
He said it looks like he fainted. Look, the club have come at. Look, he was on the ground for probably 8 minutes, 10 minutes. They got him up. We've been told he is responsive in the change room and he's heading to hospital. So get well
Good
soon,
news.
Bentancur.
Yeah, he's responding. Yeah.
But do you think that kind of summed up the way the first half went? That both players were a bit concerned about what had happened to Bentancur? Because the game took some time to get going after that. Because you got to remember that was 5 minutes in, and then we had 10 minutes of that, and then it's kind of the game was starting to.
Yeah, I just felt like cold night. There's a lot of pressure for both teams. Obviously, it's a semi-cup final. And yeah, for both managers, I'd say there are lots at stake, because I think for Slot, people don't speak about it as much, but this could be his first trophy.
True.
And then he can build off the back of that. I know they're in the lead at the moment, they're the top of the Champions League as well, but actually I think every cup competition is important to him, but equally there was a lot of pressure on Ange Postecoglou to get this one right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure. Yeah, there was a lot of pressure just not to get battered, I think.
Yeah, just to stay in the game.
Stay in the game.
Yeah, exactly. After the last result, anyway, I thought that was the thing going into it. We hadn't won in a few games, and so
we haven't won at home for 2 months.
There you go. So you're there with the stats today, man. So, like literally, that pressure, I think you'd have. Remember, they were getting at him.
They were.
See, like the journals, they were trying to set him trap.
Yeah, but he
was biting as well.
He was spiky. He was
biting at it. He was like,
you know what it reminded me of? You know when England beat Australia in the Ashes?
Yeah.
No, it rarely happens, right? And this is why I'm mentioning it. And sorry to the Australian people. I know it rarely happens, but you know when England are going for it, or they've won one game and they've lost the other two, and they start trying to pick at the captain who comes out and he gets spiky. I think I've forgotten the guy's name now, the old captain before, but he used to get quite spiky with the English press.
You know what? The one thing I'd say is, and no matter what happens with Spurs, like the players and the form that they're in, they've always seemed like they were fighting for the manager.
That's been key. That has been key. I think we can clearly see from the not even the last 2 games, even against Liverpool at home where we were completely out of it, they still went out there and fought. I think every game we can see that they are fighting. There's been a few games like Palace, probably Forest, where it's been a bit like
it's been a bit off,
but it's not been like they haven't been fighting for him. It's just that they've played really badly and poorly. Like
the intensity hasn't been there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But
look, Liverpool had chances at the end of the first half. They had a couple. Like, it really was end to end.
Nothing to really worry.
Nothing penetration. There was no
Keeper.
penetration from both teams.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Considering Salah was on the pitch, he's probably he's in the world-class bracket.
Yeah, he is.
We have to admit that as a nation.
Consistently, season after season, he's delivering the goods.
He's in a world-class bracket, but he seemed to be quite quiet tonight. Was that down to Jed?
Do you know what it was?
Was it down to the way that them two handled him and Son in the first half?
I think that it was so much so on Jed's side. Like I said, Salah likes to invert a lot. He no longer hugs the touchline. He plays a lot more in midfield.
I said his game has changed, and people, I got a lot of hammering.
Did you?
Yeah, and actually, when you look at it today, his game has changed from 2-3 years ago.
Yeah,
where Sonny's, we're still trying to do what he was doing 2 years ago.
And I said that for me when I was watching the game was the two big differences: how they were playing balls into Salah, into the box. And even then, Salah was finding his teammates, do you know what I mean, linking up with them and crossing balls back and cutbacks, etc. He had a shot. There was one chance as well when I think he overplayed it, and I thought he could have left it for, I think it was either McAllister or Jota.
Yeah.
And he's taken an extra touch and he's hit over the bar, and I was just like, but he was on the left-hand side. He wasn't on his right. When that happened, when that shot was...
And he was well into the box.
And that,
so you can see why. I can see what
and even his first shot he had was from that left-hand side as well, if you remember. So, again, that's Salah playing more as a false nine, in my opinion. He's actually playing inside the kind of attacking third, inside the box, getting touches there, being a nuisance. And as a fullback, Jed Spence can't really follow him there. And that's why he's getting extra touches on the ball. And it's clever managing from slot, in my opinion, and I hope that we could take a leaf out of their book, because some of our players aren't touchline wingers.
Do you think that Jed today, because the reason why he's had a good game is because he wasn't inverting as much because there was a Salah threat there?
Good question. I honestly think...
I think Porro inverted a lot, but he kind of then would lay a long...
I need to watch the game back, but I don't think Spence jumped as much.
Yeah.
When I say jump, I mean, in the press, what happened a lot of the time was Spence would jump high up the pitch, and he would try to press Trent and engage with him high up the pitch, and then that left a lot of space in behind, and that's when we got caught out. I thought this time I saw a lot of back threes, a lot of back fours. I saw us a lot deeper as well. Even when we had the ball, we weren't committing so many bodies forward, in my opinion. And so that's why we looked a bit more. And I said it, I called it, like when Liverpool had the ball, we kind of set off them a little bit. And we looked like a 4-4-2 at times. Maybe we switched between a 4-4-2 and a 4-1-4-1.
Yeah.
But the point was we were narrow, we were compact. And we said, yeah, you can have the ball in the wide spaces. But when it comes into the midfield, that's where we're going to start to, come alive. And that's when I noticed like Son and Johnson defending in the kind of half spaces where you'd see sometimes Gakpo might rotate with a Jota and they would interchange, and then maybe you see Gakpo high up, you're like, what's Gakpo doing there? But he's trying to attack the space that we vacated. And I just thought, altogether, it was a good defensive display, just to round it off.
So look, we come out of the second half. Obviously, the team have probably heard about Bentancur.
Yeah.
10 minutes in, this game's still not...
A bit nervy.
I think both teams are like older. I think Liverpool can sense that we're in the game.
Yes.
But then Alisson, what is he doing?
Wow.
He gets the ball at his feet. Bergvall shuts him down. He looks like got Bergvall slid past him. He looks like he's done his job. But Alisson keeps hold of it, and Bergvall ends up...
I don't know if that was a tweak or if that was just Bergvall pressing.
I think it was Bergvall pressing.
Was that an instruction for Bergvall to swap over the pressing structure?
I think you're right. I think he was told to, because I noticed a lot in that second half. He was the one further forward pressing. And
what I'm saying,
he was next to Solanke at one point.
Right then.
And I think they looked at Kulu and went, "You can't really do it because your leg.
Yes.
You've probably played too many games.
Right.
Let's go for the boy who hasn't kicked the ball for 2 months."
Exactly. And so moving forward, I wouldn't be mad at that,
No,
having
it seemed to do the trick.
And obviously, we almost scored from that. I thought the ball was at Bergvall's feet. Yeah. It broke to because first the shot Porro had the shot. It came off the defender, came back to Bergvall. And I'm like, Bergvall, shoot. But then he's passed it to Porro. And I'm like, Porro, you've got to hit the target at least, bare minimum. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he hits it past the post. And I thought, that was it. The chance we had to go 1-0 up, it's gone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we thought that was our moment. We did think that was our moment, but it wasn't. Salah then has a chance. Nunes then has a chance with Zinski probably makes his first real save.
That was a good save.
In the game.
When he comes out and it goes to the left, bottom, and he that spreads himself quite well, but he does quite well there, like to make himself big.
Yeah. Then Dragoshin has an air shot which causes a lot of chaos in our box, but we still it was 2 banks of 4. They were all there. The midfielders were there.
Makes it harder.
It made it harder for Liverpool to actually
find a way in. Maybe they were looking at Amarim's defensive block.
I think they were. I think they did look at that and go.
And that's a way to maybe beat Liverpool.
Yeah. And then in the 69th minute, around the 70th minute, it happens to be that save, the second one that Zinski made. And I think a lot of people, you can see it in the comments, the keeper has done himself. And I said, do you know what?
Bathed himself in glory.
Yeah. I think the reason why I was looking at this start as a bit negatively at the beginning was because of the way we've been playing.
Yeah.
But actually, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Because he was so calm on the ball, he made defence calm. They weren't panicking. Some of the balls he was laying, you can tell our strikers are not used to that and they're not getting on the end of it. And that's going to take some time because the balls he was laying to Son and Solanke over the top.
Well, he helped our defensive structure. Yep. He helped our attacking structure. He helped us play out from the back. He went short. He went long. He went into the channels. He helped us to keep things under relatively cool, calm, collective, no pressure for the centre backs, for the full backs, which allowed them more time to find their passes. Because when a keeper delays on the ball, that adds extra pressure when it comes into feet to the defender. So for me, it's just made a huge difference to the way we play. I think you don't realise how important a goalkeeper is.
Yeah, until that moment.
Yeah.
Everyone, I think, you notice that most teams that win the league,
remember when Alisson came, how much of a big of a difference that was, and they pushed up and they started challenging.
Even with the year that Leicester won it, I don't think people realise how good Kasper Schmeichel was that season. When someone had the best season of their life.
Yeah.
Everyone will talk about Vardy and Mahrez, but I don't think people realise how big it was. And I think it's very rare a team wins the league without a good goalkeeper.
Cool, calm, and collective.
I think Man United might have won it with Taibbi once, but
that's what you want. I think ever since that Man United game happened for Forster, his confidence has dropped through a roof. And
it was shot.
And I feel like going forward,
but do you think if we were defensively set up the way we were tonight in previous games with Forster, do you think? And he was able to play.
That's a good point.
Do you think, because he was very exposed?
Yeah. Yes, you're right. That's another point as well.
Do you think he would have had better games?
Possibly. It's just about, it's a mixture of things. It's never all of black and white, as you just said.
Because let's be honest, we haven't left Zinski exposed tonight.
No,
we haven't left him exposed. So maybe, yes, Ange has done the wonderful thing and changed his tactics, but he's protected his goalkeeper in his debut. And actually, you've seen the wonders. You can see in the chat tonight, everyone's going Zinski.
Yeah.
But we've got this. Unfortunately, we can't look at this game as the barometer because we don't play like this normally.
Do you think it's something with maybe the coaches have said something as well to Ange where they're possibly saying, look, I think Ange, we need to change it a little bit.
I think they told him tonight. Yes.
I said, look, we're under so much pressure. Yeah. You might need to rein it in a bit, and this got him the result.
Yeah. Possibly.
Sorry.
So we end up. There's chances. I think Werner hits the side net. He comes on. Liverpool make their substitutions as well. We make ours. And then there's a big moment in the game. Porro lays a wonderful ball through. Solanke then slides past Alisson.
Oh, I celebrated like crazy for that goal.
You were up celebrating.
I was loving it.
I was kind of holding back.
I was in euphoria. I was there. I was like,
up.
Fuck that.
But I
need that.
I saw it was offside.
I said, listen.
Yeah, I saw it offside.
Let me have my moment. You know what I'm saying? I just celebrated like a true fan.
But massive moment, was that the turning point and turned it more back into our favour?
I don't think so. I think that's when the belief starts to set in. When you put the ball in the back of the net, you have that moment, that one opening, and your striker takes it, who hasn't been playing too well in that first half, but in the second half,
his first big moment.
His first moment when it was yes, you can do this. And I'm happy for him, even though it wasn't a goal, that he had a one-on-one under pressure. He didn't know it was offside, and he put it in the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you want to see from your number 9. You want to see your number 9 competent in those areas. If he doesn't put that away, then I've got a lot of question marks for him, to be fair.
Yeah, and if I'm looking at it, the last 12 minutes of Solanke's performance today was probably the bit that changed the game.
It was the swing. That was the swing.
Before that, he was not as good as he has been.
No, it was like the build-up, the link play, the hold-up of the ball, the passing. It was all lackluster, a bit sloppy, and somewhat, I don't know, it was just unlike Solanke. We've praised him a lot.
No, we have praised him a lot.
Fans have praised him a lot for that reason, and he's been critiqued because he hasn't put the ball in the back of the net as much.
But that seemed to give him the confidence.
Yes, that he needed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, again, we're still defending. I'm going to say, we were defending like warriors. We looked like one unit. We just looked. Basuma's winning tackles. Gray's not out of position. Dragoshin's winning headers. Poro's winning tackles. He's not getting caught out. Spence is being Spence against one of the world's best players. And Liverpool, yes, you have a world. Like,
that's all Kulu defending.
Yeah, you have to give Spence credit tonight because he hasn't just done it against an ordinary guy. He's done it against the world's best.
Yeah.
Right? Who does, But then, the moment happens. Poro tries it again, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he lays a fantastic ball over the top. Konate looks like he's going to win the ball. Solanke pushes him off the ball. Bergvall makes the run. He lays a ball into Bergvall's feet where Van Dijk is now trying to get across. He's stretching. First time slotted in the corner. Euphoria in this room here. Right? Even like if you'd seen the producer, mate, you should have seen him. He was worse than us.
I think he dread to my heart.
Yeah, he was worse than us. Right?
He would hurry you can push the like.
And he's not a small guy. But in all seriousness, that goal goes in. We're celebrating. We're going on. Are you pleased for Bergvall in that moment?
Yeah, definitely. Because he's had a funny introduction to the Spurs life. I feel like the fan base have been up and down with him at the start of him. He's not ready yet. He's weak on the ball. He's not good enough. Well, not good enough, but people questioning where he should play and what position he should play in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, as you see it more, you see him developing as a centre midfielder.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think a lot of us have watched him at the beginning, even though they weren't playing much games. And I even like the most not the most negative, but the ones that are not been very critical of the team. Have all said with the transfer recruitment, actually Bergvall.
Yeah,
looks like a player.
Yeah,
more than Archie Gray, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing against Archie Gray.
Yeah, no, but I agree.
But
I agree, bro.
We all could see that there was something about Bergvall that looks quite special. And tonight, it's one of them. He needs to now grow on this performance.
Yes,
doesn't stop here.
Like there was a few things. If I'm gonna pick at hairs, which I don't need to. But
there you go.
No. Look, the goal was massive. The fact that he pressed in that second half to force that error where Poro could have scored. The fact that he actually was in that position to get on the end of things with Solanke. Like he made that run and got in that position. Because let's face it, he was doing more the Kulusevski role than because Kulusevski went out wide, so he had to then change his role and become almost like a secondary striker at times, or an attacking mid, that breaks into the box late. And he did well to take his chance, man. He didn't think about it, didn't hesitate, and he looks comfortable in his team now. He actually looks more assured. He looks mature. There was a few times I was going to say about disciplinary, where wow, actually don't dive in there. Even though that first one, as you said, wasn't a foul, and he got booked for it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm just saying, there's certain times when he's diving in, and I'm like, you don't need to dive in there. They don't risk it there. Do you know what I mean? So that's what he's got to learn. But then there was times as well when there was decision making. I'm like, Basuma, be a bit closer to him to let him know. Or even if it's not Basuma, a centre back or a full back, because when you're playing in midfield, you can't see everything all the time. You can scan, but then sometimes when you've got the ball, someone behind you. Remember, Rio Ferdinand used to do it. He used to tell Scholesy, all right, to the left, to the right. Do you know what I mean? Tell him where to. So that's what I mean. An instruction for him. If he can't see it all, he needs seniority to tell him what to do on the ball at times. But I thought he had an amazing game today.
Yeah, I can't even remember anything after that moment. It
was a blur.
It was all a blur because we're 1-0 up. We're holding on to seats.
I remember Werner was getting on the ball, and there was a part when he ran up the pitch.
Forget that. Forget all that. Let's talk about some performances. Let's go into performances before we get the guys on to come and have their say.
Yeah.
Who for you personally, if you were going to give a man of the match today, who are you giving it to?
Well,
and people in the comments as well.
Bergvall's got to get it because he got the goal, isn't it? He's got the winning goal, bro. But I was very impressed by some stellar performances, and like you said, the back five. But Kinski, he's going to stand out. Like, what a debut. Do you know what I mean? We were raving about Austin, but I mean,
that debut, was.
You know what it was with Austin? No one thought he could do it. Like, and then Austin also on the corners, like, he caught, and I was, oh my God, I can't believe it. I was against.
No matter what you do after this, Austin.
Yeah,
it
didn't matter if he saved or goal. Like, even though he did make a save against Harvey Barnes, but that didn't matter. It was the fact that he was so composed and he caught it. And then he slowed it down, and
he did it a few times.
And then certain times he went long. But going back to, because I digress, Kinski, man, he's popping balls, bro. He's looking smooth and he's looking ice cold.
He looked like I did
ice cold.
I know I said we should put him in centre midfield, but that is exactly what he was.
He was spraying.
As the Americans say, the quarterback. I know about it,
bro.
But that's what it seemed like. He was getting the ball, playing it there, playing it here.
Yeah.
Knew when to play it long, knew when to play it short.
Yeah,
he weren't putting Archie Gray and Dragoshin under pressure.
Yeah.
He knew there was times when he went into Basuma, he knew when to do that. And this is what's key. And sometimes we got to look at it and go, sometimes is it the players' football IQ, not their actual IQ, their football IQ, sometimes needs to be looked at when we are searching for these players, because that's what it's all about. But look, does Ange? Let's go to Ange. Let's go to the big man. Mm-hmm. Does he deserve credit for tonight?
I mean, if you can't give him credit now, when can you, bro? You have to give man credit. You have to. Like, it's only fair. It's only right. The fans were calling out.
Some people are still calling him out now. Look, me and you have got splinters.
No, come on. What are we doing here, man? He's given us a good chance of, like, performance-wise. First of all, it was a top performance. You can't dispute that.
I'm gonna sit there and say, it's probably one of the top performances
of the season. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you can't debate the performance,
because it was the performance, the effort, everything just fell into place, and we got a clean sheet.
Yeah.
1-0s are good, people. 1-0s are kind of decent.
They are, exactly. And I think maybe the people in the comments, because it wasn't a 3-0 win or something, or maybe because they've holding feelings about previous. Do you know what I mean? Nobody likes to be wrong as well. So for you to now change, you look like a flip-flop. And I still don't want him here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I get that. We're not saying to change.
No,
we're not saying to change. Stay in the Ange out. We're not saying to change. But
as an Ange person, you said don't celebrate the cup final if we win it though.
No. Well, we're supporting Spurs. We're supporting Spurs here.
I'm playing. I love when they use the argument like, who's not going to do that?
But for me, you just gotta you gotta embrace it. You gotta be mature at times as well. And at the end of the day, we all support Tottenham Hotspurs. We're here for the club. It's for the love. And if this is a turning, you know what it is? I think what they're going to come out with now is, can he do this consistently, or is this a flash in the pan? This is where now we need to see, is he going to adjust for each club? Or is it gun-ho? And then, is it top 6, or is it top 8 that he does this type of performance for? Or is it
adjust for each club? It's the in-game part. So he knew today that Liverpool were going to be tough.
Yes.
So it's not that. But say Liverpool actually allowed us to play, and they were actually giving us space and time, and actually the 2 banks of 4 wasn't working because we wasn't getting quick enough, then he could change it like that. Or when Ipswich are in 2 banks of 4, and it's just not working, and you don't bring on Maddison to like the last minutes. It's stuff like that where you can change it, adapt your style, but keep. Everything that you've been learning for the last 10 years or 20 years of coaching, it's still there. The premise is still there. And let's be honest about everything. You could be coaching for 25 years, you're still going to learn something new. The game changes, the game evolves.
He said he's never been so angry in his whole entire career of coaching. So,
and he's done the one thing that I was wondering how long it was going to last, because the English refs are terrible. Right? They're useless. Like, they literally, the PGMO needs to have a look at themselves, because they are. It's always us.
It's always us.
Even when it comes to Champions League games, our lot call something, and you go, "What are you doing?"
It's true.
But at the end of the day, he does go against a lot of what he's been saying, and
he has gone against a lot of his.
But and I'm not mad with that, because some of it needed to. He needed to, but he's finally criticised the refs. Which he said he wouldn't do, but the Premier League does that to you.
Well, exactly. I can't remember the Gotham quote, the one in The Dark Knight.
Don't quote it, just in case of copyright.
I won't. But
Yeah.
Now I was gonna say if you live long enough, you see yourself to become a villain, innit? And
true.
basically, I feel like he's going through his villain arc, that nasty arc that you might kind of need though.
That's Levy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Levy's just long enough to see that he's now the villain.
Yeah.
However, guys, look, that's our match reaction.